Have you ever met someone who seemed very kind at first, but after talking to them, you felt tired, guilty, or somehow uncomfortable? They smile a lot, they say nice things, they act as if they only want the best for you. But deep inside, something feels wrong. You cannot always explain it, but you feel that their kindness is not completely honest. Friedrich Nietzsche believed that real kindness is not about sweet words, smiles, or looking good in front of others. Sometimes behind kindness there can be control, fear, jealousy, weakness, or a hidden desire to feel superior. And the hardest part is that false kindness is often very hard to notice, because people like this usually know what to play the role of a good person very well. In this video, we will talk about 7 signs of false kindness based on Nietzsche's way of looking at human nature. Stay until the end because the last sign may be the most dangerous one. The first sign is this: they help you, but later they make you pay for it emotionally. At first, they seem very generous. They offer help, they are always there. They do favors without you even asking. And in the beginning, you may think, what a kind person. But after some time, you begin to notice something strange. Every favor becomes a debt. Sooner or later, they remind you of what they did for you. They say things like, after everything I've done for you, or I was always there when you needed me. Their help starts to feel less like kindness and more like a trap. Nietzsche understood that many good actions are not always as pure as they look. Real kindness gives freely, it does not keep score. False kindness remembers everything. It waits for the right moment to use it. The second sign is this: they avoid honest conflict because they care more about being liked than being real. Some people think being kind means never disagreeing, never saying anything uncomfortable, and always keeping the peace. But that is not always kindness. Sometimes real kindness means telling the truth, even when it is not easy. A falsely kind person usually tells people what they want to hear. They agree with everyone. They smile even when they disagree. They never take a clear position because they are afraid someone might stop liking them. At first, this can feel pleasant, but over time it creates empty relationships. You never know what they truly think. You never know where you really stand with them. And without honesty, closeness slowly dies. The third sign is this: they praise you in person but speak badly about you when you are not there. This is one of the clearest signs. When they are with you, they are warm, friendly, and supportive. They compliment you, they act happy for you. But when you leave, their tone changes. Nietzsche hated this kind of hypocrisy. He believed that hidden resentment often comes out through gossip. A person may not have the courage to speak honestly, so they attack quietly. They smile in public and poison your name in private. Pay attention to how someone talks about other people when those people are not in the room. If they constantly gossip about others, there is a good chance they do the same thing to you. The fourth sign is this: they act like a victim after choosing to help. Some people give a lot, but not from a peaceful place. They sacrifice themselves, then use that sacrifice to make others feel guilty. They say, I did everything for you, or nobody appreciates me. This kind of person may look kind from the outside, but their kindness slowly becomes pressure. You start feeling responsible for their sadness. You feel guilty for having your own needs. You feel trapped because saying no makes you look ungrateful. Nietzsche saw this as a quiet form of control. They do not force you directly, they control you through guilt, and that can be even harder to escape. The fifth sign is this: they need everyone to see them as a good person. A falsely kind person often cares too much about their image. They want to be seen as nice, generous, patient, and morally better than others. But the problem is simple. They are not always trying to be good. They are trying to look good. Nietzsche warned against living only for the approval of others. A real person can accept that not everyone will like them. They can stand by their values. But a falsely kind person changes their behavior depending on who is watching. And when someone questions their image, they may suddenly become cold, angry, or cruel. That is when the mask starts to crack. The sixth sign is this: they hide jealousy inside compliments. This one is very subtle. They congratulate you, but something in their voice feels off. They say, "Wow, I didn't expect you to do that well," or "You're lucky things worked out for you." It sounds like a compliment, but it leaves a bad feeling. False kindness often hides envy. They cannot openly say they are jealous, so they cover it with polite words. They smile, but your success bothers them. They praise you, but they quietly try to make you feel smaller. Real kindness is happy when you grow. False kindness feels threatened by it. For example, they may say, "Wow, I never thought you would become this successful," or "You're really lucky you got that job." At first, it sounds like a compliment. But if you listen closely, there is another message under the words. They are not really celebrating your success. They are trying to make it smaller. Instead of saying, "You worked hard and you deserve this," they make it sound like your success happened by accident, like you were just lucky, like you somehow received something you did not fully earn. And this is where false kindness becomes very painful, because the words are polite, but the feeling behind them is cold. Nietzsche noticed that many people struggle when they see someone else rise. Some people can admit their envy. They can be honest about it, at least with themselves. But others hide it. They cover it with soft words, fake smiles, and strange compliments that leave you feeling uncomfortable. So learn to listen, not only to what people say, but to how their words make you feel. Real support gives you strength. Fake support leaves you questioning yourself. The seventh sign is this: their kindness disappears when you are no longer useful to them. This may be the clearest sign of all. As long as they need something from you, they are close. They call, they message, they ask how you are. They show interest in your life. They act warm, loyal, and caring. But the moment they can no longer gain anything from you, everything changes. The calls become rare, the messages stop, the warmth disappears. Suddenly, they are too busy. Suddenly, they do not have time. Suddenly, the same person who once acted so close now treats you like a stranger. And that hurts, because you realize something very unpleasant. Their kindness was never really about care. It was about benefit. Nietzsche believed that a person's real character becomes visible when there is nothing left to gain. When there is no reward, no advantage, no useful connection, no attention to receive, then you finally see who they are. Real kindness does not disappear the moment you stop being useful. Real kindness remains because it comes from respect, affection, and honesty. Fake kindness leaves as soon as the reward is gone, and often that is the moment when the mask finally falls. There is also one more important sign. Some people use kindness to feel morally better than others. They do not help because they truly care. They help because it makes them feel superior. They want everyone to see how patient they are, how generous they are, how understanding they are, how good they are. They may remind people of their good deeds again and again. They may speak about how much they tolerate, how much they give, how much they sacrifice. But behind all of this, there is often the quiet need to be admired. Nietzsche warned about this hidden pride. Sometimes morality becomes another way for people to feed their ego. These people may not try to control you loudly. They do it more quietly. They place themselves above others. They judge people who do not act the way they act. Their kindness carries a silent message. Look how much better I am. But real kindness does not need applause. It does not need to be announced. It does not need to be posted, repeated, or used as proof of someone's goodness. A truly kind person helps because they care. A falsely kind person helps because they want to be seen helping. And there is a big difference between the two. Remember this: fake kindness is dangerous because it looks so much like real kindness. It uses the same smiles, the same warm words, the same gentle voice, the same helpful gestures. But the reason behind it is different. Real kindness gives you peace. Fake kindness makes you feel guilty, small, confused, or controlled. Nietzsche believed that being real takes courage. It takes courage to tell the truth. It takes courage to disagree. It takes courage to be honest, even when people may not like you for it. So the next time someone seems almost too kind, ask yourself one simple question. Do I feel free around this person? Or do I feel trapped? That answer can tell you more than their words ever will. If this video made you think, write the word authentic in the comments. It will show that you stayed until the end and that you understand the difference between real kindness and a beautiful mask. Subscribe to the channel for more lessons inspired by Nietzsche, human psychology, and personal growth. And remember, sooner or later, every mask falls.